Breaking next, 10 tornadoes ripped through the southeast, killing 14 people.
We've been out here in Immokalee all day surveying the damage 2 days after Hurricane Irma.
Tear gas and buses on fire. The humanitarian crisis in Venezuela is getting worse. Relief here on Fort Myers Beach after the capture of Lois Reese in South Padre Island. And breaking news at 4, President Donald Trump is coming back to South Florida this weekend. The suspect was inside her vehicle here in this parking lot tonight. Veronica Bravo says it is the second time she's seen that person. The beach is not closed, but it is advised that you stay out of the water here at Minnesota Key as well as Venice Beach. Safety improvements coming to this dangerous intersection in North Fort Myers. Just this month alone, 3 people died in crashes. We actually are going to bring in a witness, someone that actually called 911 when this all happened. Her name is Felicity Ross. Come over here, Felicity. Now, you lived here for 4 years, correct?
Yes.
Now, tell us what happened. Have you ever seen anything like this before here?
No, never. Not in this community.
There is a way you can protect yourself. When you walk up to your pump, pull out your phone and go down and hit the Bluetooth button and hold it up to the pump. Experts say that if a long list of numbers is trying to connect with your phone, that could be a Bluetooth skimmer. First tonight, the rain's gone and the radar is clear. Now get ready for some cooler temperatures. Starting tomorrow night, we're going to see temperatures falling into the 40s. Yeah. And First Lady Melania Trump is taking her Be Best initiative on the road in her first solo U.S. overnight trip in official capacity. We have breaking news. A former police officer who shot and killed a woman during a demonstration asked for his trial to be moved out of Southwest Florida again. This is the 5th time Lee Cole filed a motion in Charlotte County Court. A surgery that's supposed to cut down on your recovery time could be causing you more pain in the long run. Weekend News reporter Gina Tomlinson breaks down why the FDA is warning you about robotic surgeries when it comes to cancer-related issues. New at 5, this insulin saves lives, but it comes at a cost. Weekend News introduces you to a child who's already thinking of her future bank account.
Only on Wake News, a drug bust at the hands of an Uber driver. And
troopers arrested his passenger in Estrada carrying 10 pounds of marijuana and almost 15 grand in cash. Now, let me show you what that looks like. This is the suitcase of pot. Now, the Uber driver says the man put it in his trunk without telling him what was inside. This young woman makes history as the first person to practice law in the state of Florida to be openly autistic. Parkland native Haley Moss was admitted to the Florida bar last month. Not only did she graduate from the University of Miami School of Law, she also works for a top law firm in Miami and has published several books to inspire others on the spectrum. Rescuers caught on camera saving 2 horses who fell into an icy pond. You can see the massive animals here, their heads just above water, each of them weighing more than 1,500 pounds. Investigators in Charlotte County are trying to solve a mystery. It comes after a body was found near a boat launch in Punta Gorda here. Let's show you where this is happening. The body was found this morning by a boater just south of Prairie Creek Bridge right here at Washington Loop Road.
We've been out here in Immokalee all day surveying the damage 2 days after Hurricane Irma, and as night falls, most of the city still in the dark. Now, I want to show you some of the damage we've been observing. Take a look. This is a huge piece of tin roof that's been ripped off of an apartment complex not far from here. But the people of Immokalee say they need power and they need it now so they can get back to work. The impact from Irma was devastating in Immokalee. But now the recovery begins.
A lot of damage around trailers, and now a lot of people's going to need help.
Robert Anzuala rode out the storm here.
There's a lot of things that were standing that we thought they was going to blow away, because I was outside at the hurricane viewing, and it was real bad.
Guadalupe Romero left town
Esta trailer resultó muy afectada
and returned to see the damage. This trailer here in Immokalee now has an open roof after Hurricane Irma ripped it apart, and as of now, the people that live here are using this plastic to try to keep out the elements. Romero says many people here are blue-collar workers unsure how they'll pay to clean up this huge mess. Immokalee High still remains open as a shelter. These young ladies say they'll remain here tonight because they have no electricity at home.
What does Immokalee look like right now? When
the apocalypse. It's like, it looks like a zombie attack. It looks very bad.
And those who live here say as they recover, they'll take a big lesson from the storm.
But clean it up and have lights and go back to work, stay back together the way we were, And now to get more prepared the next time.
And tonight, several families here in Immokalee have spent the night now at Immokalee High School. That is where the shelter has been. Some of them are telling me that they've been staying there now for day 4. They say they need the electricity back more than ever. Here in Immokalee, John Carlos Estrada, Wink News.
John Carlos Estrada is live at the scene with the breaking details. John Carlos?
Amanda, that firefighter remains in the hospital tonight. We just learned within the last hour from the fire chief that he fell while battling the blaze right behind me. Now, let's give you a better look at what is happening right now. Fire truck that still remains here along with fire investigators looking into how this all started. The fire ladder still remains over the building that was fully on fire several hours ago. And on first appearance, you can't really tell if fire hit this building, but you can take a closer look. You can see the damage that was caused by those flames. Now, this fire began early this evening. You can see from the video just how the flames overtook this 4-unit apartment building. The flames getting as high as 12 feet. It took firefighters several hours to contain and put out the fire, and they battled several flare-ups as well. We spoke to one neighbor who lives next door and says from his view it's a total loss for the people who live there.
Looking down their first floor, you can see, a huge hole in the center of the fourplex complex, so I'm sure it's going to be almost a total loss, all 4 units, so it's pretty bad.
And from what we know, it seems as though everyone that lived in this building made it out safe earlier today. Now, the only person that was injured again is that firefighter, and he remains in the hospital tonight. On the night beat, John Carlos Estrada, Wink News. That's right, Lathea Smith says she was walking down this path when that pit bull came out of nowhere and attacked her. She says her mom instincts kicked in right away. She protected her belly and that life of her unborn daughter. And new tonight, that dog is inside that homeowner's house tonight. Now, warning, some of those images we're about to show you might be disturbing for some.
If it did this to me, it would have killed the child.
Lathea Smith has bite marks and scratches that will turn into scars. Tonight, she tells me she's in the hospital and in pain.
I cry. It hurts. I never felt that kind of force or pain before.
The 8-month pregnant woman was attacked by a pit bull on Palm Beach Boulevard and Waverly Avenue.
The blue dog came from nowhere out of somebody's yard and attacked me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I was like, I wish I could just go to sleep so the pain can stop.
The 27-year-old mom's instincts kicked in immediately. She covered her belly and protected her unborn daughter, Paris.
He hit my arm, but he didn't hit nothing around my stomach, and that was God. That's all that was.
We knocked on the dog owner's door. No answer except barks from the pit bull at the window. A next-door neighbor says the dog is friendly and won't attack unless it's provoked.
There could be child around here and the dog can be outside and he won't do anything to them. He'll just stay in his own place.
Smith says she wanted a pit bull as a pet, but after this experience,
I wanted a little dog, but never, no, I've really changed, Mama. No, I don't want no dog.
Smith says animal control called her to get the address where it happened. She says they plan on taking the dog, but she wants her bite marks and scratches to serve as a lesson for all dog owners out there.
They should keep their dog trained right. If you can't tell your dog to stop, you should keep your dog locked in somewhere, because that dog, it could have killed me or my child.
And she says that she plans on pressing charges when the time comes tonight. She remains in the hospital. She's taking care of her legs, make sure there is no infection. As for her unborn child, Paris, she is okay, and she's expected to be delivered next month. 2 of those ducks remain in this canal. Just take a look. One is right here floating nearby, face down. And actually, FWC got back to me, and they said they actually asked the neighbor if they could grab, bag, and freeze this animal so they can test it. It's a sight nobody wants to see. Dead animals covered in algae in their backyard.
It didn't really seem to hit home until it was literally in my own backyard.
Just this morning, Maria Farmer says these ducks were alive.
It was just so fast, and then the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, what if that had been a child?
Farmer and her boyfriend thought about burying the dead ducks.
I actually felt like, the ducks, they were living creatures. They deserve the respect of a burial. But when I got close to them and took those photos, the sight of that death, I just got so scared.
It's hard, because you don't know how toxic this is going to be for you. So, you try and call, FWC or Crow.
We called Crow and FWC too. Crow says they can only help living animals and only if they're in distress. FWC asked if neighbors could bag, freeze, and ship the animals for testing because they don't have the resources right now to have someone to come out. We did see a flock of ducklings swimming nearby. Farmer fears they could be next. When you see these little ducklings over here, what sort of goes through your mind?
They're gonna die.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
No, I mean, it killed much larger ducks pretty quickly, so that's the same spot they were swimming in.
And speaking of that, John Carlos, within the last 45 minutes, I understand those neighbors you talked to actually went and picked up one of the ducks?
Chris, that's right. That man came out here with a glove, a bin, and a 2-gallon bag, and he says that he came out here because FWC asked him to, and he followed through. Just take a listen.
More thing that we can do to try and help, if they can find out, exactly what went on, maybe it's just one more piece to, help bring about some change.
And we were actually able to help him shine some light so he could help get that duck out. Now, as for those ducklings that were in the story, Crow got back to me about an hour and a half ago, and they told me they can't do anything for those animals until they're in distress. On the Night Beat, John Carlos Estrada, Wink News.